dream won't satisfy this need. To call your mind, I want you to find the words are spoken. So just take a leap of faith and see. I'm begging you, please. Now the first is through. The stillness of life, it flashes and fades away, far into the skies. Getting warm rays of dawn, we will journey on through the unknown, into the brave machines lighting our way. I'll reach for you and all the pain that's new. I'll give a name, something good and true, but no hesitation. Until the day we come to feel the same. I'll keep you close, all this love I hold, my new sensation. Take a leap of faith within my heart. I'll reach for you and all the pain that's new. I'll give a name, something new and true, that's no relation. Until the day we come to feel the same. I'll keep you close, all this love I hold, my new sensation. Take a leap of faith within my heart. And this is my start.
Welcome, Ultra, Switchy Sisters, and Dan and I alike to episode 34 of the weekly episodic gaming-adjacent live stream podcast show. This is Switch 2 Ultra on a Monday night. Andrew went to the dentist earlier today and thought that his face would be finished being numb by this point, but it still is not. We can mainly just... Oh, never mind. You didn't tell me to read that.
Yeah, sorry, no. Okay, now we're moving. Wait, run it back.
Oh, okay.
Are you eating? You can take it. You can wait before you finish chewing.
Yeah, I know, right?
We got time.
I'm Dan. Wait, did I mess it up? I think I messed up the time.
No, this is canon. Don't worry.
All right, perfect.
To finish up that mouthful. Welcome, Ultra, Switchy Sisters, and Dan and I alike to episode 34 of the weekly episodic gaming-adjacent live stream podcast show. This is Switch 2 Ultra on a Monday night, as it will be for the rest of time. Andrew went to the dentist earlier today and thought that his face would be finished being numb by this point, but it still is not. I don't have a monologue written. It was a little bit last minute, but Kirby Air Riders came out last Thursday. We've all been playing it. We're going to be talking about it today. I am your host. Oh, no, well, I'm one of the hosts.
You're a co-parent.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I'm also
I'm
a
your
co-parent. And Dan is here too.
And I am your estranged Funkle Dan.
I'm a little better. It's just like the bottom left of like my mouth that kind of droops. That like slurs the. I can definitely talk about at the very least Kirby Air Riders. Cause sure they showed off like Mega Zeraora, but who cares? I don't care about Zeraora. It also looks dumb.
Is anyone's favorite Pokemon Zeraora? Because I don't think that's a thing. I don't think anyone's favorite Pokemon is Zeraora.
I feel like Zeraora kind of gets by just because of the furry thing, but that's it.
That's
like, I don't know.
fair. I forgot about
It
that.
does look like a VR chat avatar, and I assume
It really
that, like,
does.
the idea of like a mega is that it would like it would change their design to make it a little better. Except for like, you know, Trimecha, where the design is just an entirely different idea. But Mega Zeraora is just that design, but more like it's kind of like a I don't know, a try-hard, edgy design, more like Digimon. It feels like it doesn't fit the game. And the idea that all the Mega does is just add more black, basically make it look like Luxray, trying to be, which is the prototypical, like, try-hard, edgy Pokemon. It doesn't do anything for me. But this is, what is it, a mythical getting a Mega? So there's only, like, 4 or 5 mythicals that we can't get, like, in the modern games. Because all the other ones, there are ways to get them in the modern games. And I think now that Zeraora is going to have a DLC release, it's only just like... I'm trying to think. Celebi is one of them, I think. I don't think you can get a Celebi outside of an event. I guess you could get it in...
You can get Deoxys in, like, Oros, I know that.
Yeah, you get... Yeah. And technically, you can get Celebi if you play Crystal on the eShop and then transfer it through Pokemon Bank. I don't know how much that counts. I just know that I heard that there's like 4 or 5 mythicals that are still like only mystery gift that you can't get yet. Because with the advent of Arceus, you can get your Manaphy, you can get Darkrai, even Arceus himself. And then if you have save files for Sword and Shield, you can get Mew and Jirachi. Oh, and also Let's Go. You can get Mew and Jirachi in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But as far as Pokemon goes, for a while leading up to ZA, or at least like for a couple weeks there, we were getting new Mega Designs, or at least getting something new each week. And I think that the next time, they said the next time they're going to announce something is like December 2nd, right? And the DLC itself comes out on the 10th, so it'll probably be the last one before it just comes out.
Yeah. I wonder how many Megas they're going to be in total. I mean, I imagine they're probably saving a good few, but... I don't know. I don't want to get too excited, you know?
I know that they want to line up the new generation. Well, presumably. I presume they want to line up the new generation with the franchise's 30-year anniversary next year and do, like, Gen 10. It's the first, like, big game that's exclusive to the Switch 2. But I feel like this is too soon for DLC for Legends ZA. Like, I don't know if most people have... I mean, I haven't even, like, fully completed it. I did get to beat it. I beat it the day before Air Riders. I wanted to finish that. Also, Dan, I don't know if you played any Titans of the Tide, but my plan was to do a really long stream where I finally finish Cosmic Shake and then transition the stream over to Titans of the Tide, the 2 new SpongeBob 3D platformers made by Purple Lamp. But I got so frustrated doing Cosmic Shake because I didn't know that there was an update after the game came out of a secret final hidden costume that you only unlock by doing all of the like achievements in game. And a lot of them are super egregious. So I spent the full 6 hours playing Cosmic Shake, and then I just didn't even finish it.
I did not know that. That is hilarious.
I'm very stern about finishing things for whatever reason. So did you play any Titan of the Tide? What I saw, it looked pretty good.
I have not. I really am just disappointed to see how it's running on Switch 2. And I can't even say I blame the Switch 2 for it, because it's made with Unreal Engine 5, and I just have to wonder why does a SpongeBob game need to be made with Unreal Engine 5? What year is this? Is this the future? Why are we making SpongeBob games with Unreal Engine 5?
Well, it's crazy that I have seen people posting videos to like Twitter and stuff. I'll be like, whoa, this game looks beautiful. I also saw someone comparing it to like Sonic Heroes, I think people were just upping me because I try not to let the difficulty like phrase how I feel about it, but in the like hour 6 of playing Cosmic Shake, I was definitely getting to the point where you like exaggerate yourself on stream and then you just become that character where I'm like, oh, fuck this fucking game, I hate this series, I don't even like SpongeBob, fuck it, man, I don't care. But for the most part, I only had the opportunity to play Kirby Air Riders for that 6 hours on Thursday. But I did get to try out most of the modes. I did, by myself, what is it, the road trip mode is the single player?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did that by myself, but everything else I did online, with only a handful of people. So I did Air Ride and Top Ride and City Trial, and maybe it's because... I said this on stream, right? Like, when I was really bad at Smash Bros., I would constantly say, like, oh, these competitive Smash Bros. Players, they don't know how to have fun. They keep turning off all the items in the fun stages. They hate fun. And then I got better at Smash Bros., and I'm like, oh, but Ultimate, Ultimate's the good one. All these Melee players, they only pick the same like 3 characters and they only do Final Destination, no items. And then I never got better at Melee, mind you, but I started to understand the game a little more, that like I liked it and respected it a lot more. So for me, when it comes to these more party-oriented racing games, like this or like Mario Kart, even though I don't even know if I would necessarily call this a racing game, that at a certain point when people start developing a meta, entire like swaths of people you play against online are just playing the same character in the same cart. Get like a Funky Kong on a bike situation. And I was saying that like, oh, I don't know if I want to play Air Ride or City Trial online with people I don't know, because it's kind of just a game you play together. But I imagine it's the same fallacy where if I got better at it, I'd be like, no, it actually is fun to play online. So what I played of City Trial was with at most like 3 or 4 people. And I thought it was fun for what it was, but I surprisingly liked both Road Trip and Air Ride mode more than City Trial, which I didn't think I would, because it seemed like City Trial is like the main thing when it comes to Kirby Air Ride.
That's what people talk about the most, at least, before this game came out.
Definitely like the thing everyone always like gloms to.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the case when they were designing the original game, but they definitely had that in mind when designing this game.
I believe that all of it was developed from the start, but I think we talked about this when we watched the second direct, that the way it's phrased, it does kind of seem like they expected nobody to miss Top Ride, and then got so much feedback that they're like, fuck, fine, we'll put it in the game. Because I don't know if that's anyone's favorite game mode.
I was a little worried
I would be
about Top
surprised.
Ride, going into it. And then when I went to Open Road and a lot of them were Top Ride, I was like, oh, well, now I gotta see what Top Ride's about. Honestly, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm enjoying Top Ride. I wouldn't choose it as my go-to. I think the only reason I'd play Top Ride is either during Open Road or to get like all the checklist items when I go for that. But it's not like a bad time. It's pretty good.
Yeah, the only reason to pick Top Ride is if you're trying to unlock Bandana Waddle Dee, and you have to play Top Ride matches 5 times in the Road Trip mode. How do you guys feel about the unlocks? I really like the way they did it.
I'm enjoying it. It's just nice to, I don't know, it's nice to work your way up to stuff, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's like, I don't actually know the details of how to get things, but for example, I think my main character, quote unquote, is DeRoach. If that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know.
Hell yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go.
I haven't really kind of gone down the rabbit hole of the stats yet. I mostly just pick stuff. Well, I kind of often I'll put the card on random just to kind of get a feel for things.
Oh,
but
I was gonna say, I think the machine oftentimes matters way more than the rider in this specific scenario.
So too, yeah.
Yeah, no, I noticed that when you and I were playing City Trial, because that's a game mode where you're constantly changing your machine, and you really kind of get an appreciation for how different the boosting mechanics are, how different the drifting is, the handling. Like, I don't know. I mean, it sort of reminds me of, just as an example, I think a lot of people might understand, is that, I don't know. I remember when Mario Kart Wii came out, the bikes were a big selling point, but in a lot of ways, they didn't feel that different, at least to me. And then, like, in Mario Kart 8, bikes and carts control very differently. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the best cart in the game is, or if there's I should just say machine, like a proper person. I'm gonna get yelled at.
It's hard to get caught up on it.
The machines, like it does seem like based on which one you pick, you really have to consider your strategy, because I don't really think that's really the case in Mario Kart. No. At least in the sense that I mean, you might want to go for like a top speed as opposed to an acceleration build, but I think for the most part, the way you drift and stuff changes pretty much. Like the handling you do is more or less the same. You kind of go about it the same way, but it's very different in this game.
That's what I really liked about Road Trip, is that it does sort of have that same design philosophy as World of Light, that you're learning everything as you slowly get them, but you're unlocking more machines than you are riders. I mean, I don't think you're unlocking any riders like throughout the actual story while doing Road Trip. So you get to the point where
like unlock riders like in the other modes. You just, once you pick a rider for Open Road,
right, you can't switch.
You can't switch it, which this isn't really a spoiler, but it kind of makes sense because once you finish the mode for whatever time, the character that you finished with gets a little icon on the menu screen.
Oh, there's so much to do then. What I was gonna say is that, like, when I'm picking specific matchups, it's hard to kind of switch the machine on the fly. The only thing I don't like, and I could be wrong about this, is that it only seems like you can switch the machine right when you start driving on the road, like after a match, or after you lose once. I wish it could switch a little faster. Is that not true?
There is one other option. Anytime you leave a rest area, you can change your machine.
That too. I just mean I wish you could, like, switch more on the fly. Because when I do a mission that's like, oh, defeat your enemy, or catch this thing, I always choose Shadow Star from the limited supply I have right now. Shadow Star for, like, attacking stuff, Wagon for driving and racing, and I think the Winged Star for the dart ones and the ones where you're trying to go through the rings. So there are, like, situations. You're right, though. This is, like, compared to Mario Kart, this is the first kart racer, if we want to call it that, game where I actually, like, factored in which machine I was picking into which matchup I was doing. But as far as the unlocks go, I think, to my understanding, again, I imagine you guys got more hours in it than I did, that you can unlock one thing, like, 4 different ways. Like, I thought at first that it was, oh, this thing is only on the online tab, so you need to do this stuff online to unlock him. But I think there is a lot of stuff that I like, saw myself unlocking multiple times. Like, I think I unlocked the Wing Star, or maybe that's a default one, like, over and over again. Because I kept doing the task you needed to on different pages, because there's about 5 pages, and I think you can do... I think what I'm saying is that you can have different options for unlocking something.
So
Okay, that's not unlike how other games usually do it.
So the way it works is for characters, if you unlock a character and then you unlock a character in another way, it unlocks the alt skin.
Okay.
So that's how you unlock that. And if you unlock a cart and then you unlock a cart another way, you unlock the ability to use it in, like, the My Machine thing. So you can customize it after you unlock it a second time.
Okay.
Because you can, and to clarify, you can only unlock things in 2 different ways. You cannot unlock a thing in 4 or 5 different ways. There's only 2 different ways you can unlock things.
Okay.
Except for one thing, which I'm not going to spoil, or maybe a few things which I'm not going to spoil. But for the most part, all characters and all carts you unlock in 2 things. It could be open road and top ride. It could be air ride and open road. It could be city trial and top ride. It all depends.
I will say, and again, haven't had a whole lot of progress beyond that one day. I'm going to be playing it tomorrow, and then also the day after that, and then also the day after that. And maybe for the foreseeable future, I don't know. I'm realizing now as I'm doing the math of, like, oh, I'm going to start Metroid Prime 4 on this day and then come back on stream. I probably won't, like, play that a second or third time until I come back in January, which is fine. I wasn't as hyped for that one. I think it's more important that it exists than I am, like, super excited for it, because I only played Metroid Prime, like, as a series, I think in 23 when they did the remaster. But I was talking to Dan, I think, after I first played it that Thursday, and was asking me, like, what I thought. And my feeling at the time, from what I've seen, I could be wrong, and that's why I'm putting this out in the world to ask either of you, that I really like it, and it's really fun. But I thought, not that this is, like, a deal breaker for a game, I thought going into it that there were going to be a lot of surprises that were, like, in there, like, hidden in there, and everything I've experienced so far was shown to us in a direct. Granted, there are directs that I analyzed, you know, like, frame by frame to a certain degree, so I can't be too upset that it's like...
There is some stuff that you're gonna, like, you will get to eventually that has not been shown off, and I think it's pretty cool for the most part. I will say, like, I think there could be a little bit more, but from the stuff that's not shown off or that hasn't been shown off, there's some pretty cool additions.
I just mean there's no... That was already on our little guide. There's no riders, machines, and courses that I don't know about, right?
Do you want me to answer that?
It's just a yes or no question.
There are riders and machines that you don't know about.
Okay, good. Well, that is exciting then. I don't need to know who they are, just that they do in fact exist. Because I've been locking in on Rocky. That's my tale of Kirby, is that I think I said this before, that after getting Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Meta Knight instantly spoke to me. I thought he was so cool. We talked about this, my friend John came over when we were doing the Switch 2 like release weekend. I think Switchy had already left by that point. This is the first person I had ever met that had this story in the other direction, where I was telling the story to him. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, in that scene where like all the swordsmen are all together, I thought Meta Knight was so cool, and I like gesticulated over to him. Is like, oh, and I know like you had the same thing with like Martha Ike, and he said, and we were like 8 and 10 years old at the time, and this was what, 2008, 2009, and I said like, oh, you know how like Fire Emblem like introduced a bunch of people in the West to these characters, and he said like, oh no, I knew about Fire Emblem before this game came out. I had like played them online. And that was insane to me, because I don't think I've ever met it. And even like people you talk to online, I don't think I've ever known a single person who knew about Fire Emblem before Smash Bros. Like in the 2000s.
I think I might have known someone, but I'm not sure if he had already played. He might have played like the GBA games before Awakening came out. Either that, or he was like that tapped in.
Yeah, well, I believe.
It might have been he got into Fire Emblem like after Brawl, but like not.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it. Well, and also just because it was not in the West like in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
from what I remember, maybe like one game. Maybe,
you had to be real
like,
tapped in.
Remembering that.
Imagine being like that one badass like Gen X weeaboo that was like playing ROM hacks of like Fire Emblem 6 before Roy came out in Smash Bros.
Oh man, I love that aesthetic. Getting anime through the tape trade that no one's ever seen before. Before it was all over the forums and stuff. It was a different time altogether. But for that, so I think it came out the year after. So I either saw my friend playing it, saw a commercial, or just saw it in the store. That's when I got Kirby Superstar Ultra. And that is when I instantly latched on to Rocky, because that was the easiest character or easiest partner to play as when you were trying to beat the boss fights, and I was bad at games when I was a kid. So the easiest way is just to not get hit by something by turning into the stone. So I'm happy about it. What I have heard also about Kirby Air Riders from a representation standpoint is that apparently, and I didn't make it that far, that Sakurai didn't really beat the allegations of only representing games he worked on. But I don't mind, because again, Superstar Ultra was my first and also favorite, which is a remake of Kirby Superstar. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like the majority of Air Riders is like entrenched in Superstar.
I mean, how do I say this? You're not wrong, but that's only because so much of Kirby that we know and love today has its base in Superstar. Like, you can't like look at Kirby without looking at Superstar again. Like, you can ignore Dreamland 1, 2, and 3. I'm not saying you should. I love those games. You can even ignore Kirby's Adventure. You can't really ignore
They got Rick in
Kirby Superstar.
Yeah,
I know, right? But that's the thing, is that people don't even know who Rick was, like, until very recently. A lot of people didn't know who he was, like, until Star Allies. And that just goes to show, it's like, damn. Well, I mean, you know, and I will say they do a good job representing the other series. It's definitely not just Air Rider. Definitely not just Superstar. They also do have something that's a little bit of like an eyebrow raiser in regards to something on Open Road I'm not going to mention.
Okay.
But it's weird that like they chose to go down this route when there were other options and they chose to do this instead. I'll say it's in regards to a boss fight, and I'll leave it at that.
Interesting. Because, like, I think it was more in regards of, like, Galactic Nova, that is, like, the whole, that everything's tied to. And to my understanding, that specific Galactic Nova only appears in Superstar and Superstar Ultra, right? Like, I know there's other Novas.
I think he's in Robobot, right?
Well, there's a blue one in Robobot. It's a different Nova they built, right?
I thought it was the same one, but, like, merged or something.
Robofied?
It could be a different one. I don't remember actually, but it's definitely Superstar Ultra or Superstar, and then maybe Robobot. and then that might be it. That might be it. Yeah.
Those are the two main ones. Well, that's really all you... It's like the Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time. Like when we were talking about the Zelda movies. Like those are really the two that people always talk about. But I have seen that a lot, that for whatever reason, probably maybe due to Sakurai, or that, it is a Switch 2 exclusive in a world currently where we have like 4 worthwhile exclusives, arguably 3, that Kirby on a specific level, because people are always talking about the levels to different Nintendo series, like how important they are. That was why everyone was kind of discussing that one Pikmin animated short about what it means for like the future of Pikmin in the Illumination film sphere, or just like, Nintendo Entertainment films in general, that Pikmin isn't quite on that level. And I feel like, to my understanding, the average person does know Kirby. They know of Kirby. They don't know anything about Kirby. Like, Kirby is above Pikmin for sure. Arguably, I think above Metroid for sure. But maybe 4th behind, like, Zelda, Mario, Pokemon. Maybe even 5th with Splatoon. I actually don't know how true that would be.
No.
You don't think so?
No way. But Kirby behind Splatoon? No. And I don't think we can really count Pokemon, if we're going to be honest. I think that's a cheat in a way. Because if we're being honest, Pokemon's bigger than Mario and Zelda.
Yes.
But that's kind of like not really... It's a Nintendo game in name alone, if you know what I mean. It's like...
Well, isn't Kirby as well? Because those are HAL Productions.
But HAL doesn't exist anymore.
Is that true? I didn't know that. You're telling me for the first time.
HAL's not a thing anymore. That's why... So for Melee, you see like the HAL Laboratories logo, and then everything else is, well, I don't remember who it
Sora
was on
Limited.
Brawl, but then like Smash 4, it's Bandai Namco.
Yeah, and Sora Limited, which is Sakurai's new company. I just assumed that like Sakurai left HAL to like work with Sora, the company, because there's still the HAL logo in Star Allies, right? When did HAL go away? Nobody told me this. Why did nobody tell me?
I think it's like, I might be wrong, but I thought it was shut down or like subsidized or something.
Because I know that happens a lot, that a company will go under and then Nintendo will just kind of, like if they were making Nintendo games, Nintendo would just kind of like scoop up all the people that worked there. I think that's what happened with Brothership, isn't it?
Effectively, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think I finished that game. I don't think I even made it like halfway into that game. It was just other stuff coming out. I think we're going to look back at like the final year of the Switch 1. It was certainly interesting, but it's also overlapping. Because what is the final year of the Switch 1? I guess it's next year, since we're still getting major Switch games.
Well, I don't even know if it's next year. I mean, because like what is going on with the Rhythm Heaven? Because it cannot be that intense to make a Rhythm Heaven game, unless I'm very wrong. I played like Mega Mix or the one on 3DS, and that's it. So I could be very wrong, but like... The fact that we've had more about Tomodachi Life, something that seems a lot more complex than Rhythm Heaven, than we have about Rhythm Heaven, seems crazy to me.
Well, I think it's just more of a release date thing. Like, we know that Tomodachi Life is coming out in spring, or maybe before spring, because spring starts, as you said, in like March. So I think it's like winter, or maybe they did just say spring 2026. Whereas maybe Rhythm Heaven is like closer to the summer or autumn or something. Because this year... we had that regular September Direct. September is still locked in. I'm still like 33.3% right. But the regular February and June Directs were kind of all over the place and split into multiple. And then they had like Directs of individual games. Because they need to announce some stuff in the February one beyond just showing off games that we know are coming out. But we don't know anything about a Switch 2 edition of Tomodachi, do we? It's just, as far as we know, it is just coming out on the Switch. And I know you can play it on the Switch too, but every major game, your Pokemons, your Metroids that have had like major charted release also launched with Switch 2 editions. So it's interesting that that one doesn't seem to have any additional features for the Switch 2 edition that we know of yet.
Oh, and I lied, by the way. HAL is still around. I don't know why I thought they were gone. They actually make some pretty good non-Nintendo games, too. I love Part-Time UFO, and Box Boy is great, too. Box Boy is Nintendo. So this is your advertisement to play Box Boy and Part-Time UFO. I think they've definitely, like, shrunken down to Kirby and Box Boy, and that's basically
I think they're the...
Like, I think they were behind, like, the original Mario Party games at first, right?
I thought that was Hudson Soft, no?
Oh, it's Hudson Soft. I'm sorry. You know what? That's what it was. Hudson Soft was the company I was thinking of.
They folded for sure.
They
Yeah.
folded. I was like, I keep mixing up Hudson and Hal.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm
it's
Why did they fold why did they fold for sure?
I don't. Well, all I know from them is that they make Mario Party games, and I know that they don't make Mario Party games anymore.
Oh,
So,
okay.
because there are other.
No, they're done. They finished in 2012 and they merged with Konami.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They also. Yeah, I remember seeing the Hudson logo on all the Bomberman games as well. So that makes sense. But it's interesting that there are like these companies that you're right don't work for Nintendo, but they do constantly outsource to those specific ones. We have it's Koei Tecmo does the Hyrule Warriors games, and I think Koei Tecmo is also working on Pokepokia, which is interesting because it doesn't seem up their alley at all. And then Bandai Namco always works with Sakurai, and that was the big speculation, like way before we heard anything about the Switch 2, but like thought there was going to be a new console, is that Bandai Namco created a subsidiary made specifically to create Nintendo games, and it was called like Studio 2, Studio S. And that's my thing. You know, we have to have a big sign on the screen that says, you know, this many minutes since we talked about Smash Bros. But when people talk about a new Smash Bros, right, that they've wrapped up Kirby Air Riders and they aren't updating it any further and there isn't going to be any DLC. And now Sakurai is going to start work on whatever the next project is. So the idea is that if there is a new Smash game and Sakurai is directing it and they're starting right now, that it wouldn't be out for like 3 or 4 years. However, I don't think it's impossible that a director could be working on multiple games at once. And I also don't think it's impossible that, again, we don't know what that specific subsidiary is working on right now. There were listings a while back for a 2D and 3D action game, like on a job application website. I don't know the name of it. I've never filled out a job application in my life. I've never worked a hard day's work in my life. That people thought it was going to be specifically a Kid Icarus Uprising remake because they heard 3D action game. And they're like, oh, this is it. This has to be it. And then just nothing happened. I don't know the likelihood of that, just in general. It seems like they're going to Sakurai with these games. I mean, that's what he said about Air Riders, is that it was pitched to him. And I learned a lot about the original Air Ride because I was watching, shout out Beta 64 videos, about Kirby Air Ride. One of the few good Andrews on the internet. It's Beta 64 and Yuri of Wind. I'd like to think I'm in there somewhere. That the game went through. What I learned from this, I'm paraphrasing, is that the only reason Kirby Air Ride got made, the original, is because the anime was actually really popular and they were struggling on making that traditional platformer game for the GameCube, the one that like became Kirby's Return to Dreamland for the Wii. So they immediately started development on a remake of Kirby's Adventure, which is Nightmare in Dreamland. That is a remake of Adventure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they immediately started working on a remake because they already had the infrastructure, and then they outsourced. It was either Squeak Squad or the one with the phone. Unless that one is Squeak Squad. One of those. They outsourced that to a different...
Amazing Mirror is the one with the phone.
Okay, Amazing Mirror or Squeak Squad. They outsourced that one and then immediately started developing a remake, and they didn't have a major Kirby game on the GameCube, but they had a design idea from the N64 called Kirby's Air Ride. Different game altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we should just do this because we already have all the infrastructure in place, and this anime is about to end, and Kirby's the most popular it's ever going to be, and we got to capitalize on that. Sorry, that's what I was talking about earlier. I'm sure we'll talk about Smash at
That
some...
actually makes a lot of sense because I've seen a few episodes of the anime, and they share like a lot of musical cues. Like a lot of musical cues. It's kind of crazy. And you can just tell, like, from the design, from like the city trial, from the design of the characters to the stages, that the anime definitely played a part in it.
Yeah.
Which I totally get. I mean, I think it was like a Sonic X situation where it was a lot more popular in the West than it was in Japan. I think I could be wrong about that, but
I would have thought that too, but I don't know. What the thing is, when I heard in the video that the anime was popular, it kind of shocked me because, like, well, I knew it was on like, was it still Fox Kids by that point, or was it 4Kids? Because 4Kids was like a block on Fox Kids or the Fox box, and then
I think
it became
was 4Kids by that point.
Okay. because I knew like people who watched it, but I didn't think it was popular. So I just assumed like, oh, it's probably more popular in Japan than it is here. But that was something I wanted to talk about earlier, or rather ask you guys that, like, I have seen so many more people talking about this game, and even people posting screenshots like, oh, who is this character? Or that one viral tweet that said, does Kirby normally go this hard? That I wonder if, on metric of this being, like, you know, a major Switch 2 exclusive holiday game, also being directed by Sakurai, that this could be several people's entry point into Kirby. And by that point, if you think it'll like outsell the other Switch 1 Kirby games. Because do we know which one like sold the best on the Switch 1? Was it
it had to have been Lost World, I think.
Forgotten Land?
Oh yeah, Forgotten Land.
Yeah.
I didn't say Lost World. What's Lost
You're thinking
World?
Sonic.
That's the Wii U game.
I am thinking Sonic Lost World. Damn.
They're actually quite similar, if you think about it. But I wonder if there is going to be like a new wave of Kirby fans because of this, and how they're going to capitalize on that as well. Because Kirby is one of those franchises that I like when, you know, a 3D Mario or major 3D Zelda game, or even like a 2D Zelda game, stuff that isn't spin-offs only comes around like once a console generation. And the same for the most part, like we get about two new Pokemon generations per console, more or less, and then there's a lot of remakes in between. And I feel the same way about Kirby, because when I was going back to Forgotten Land for the Switch 2 edition, I'm like, oh yeah, like I haven't played a new Kirby game since 2022, even though it seems like they release one or two every year. And I think it's because Kirby 1 has so many spin-offs and 2 has so many remakes that it is sort of like Pokemon, that it kind of feels not overwhelming or even too much, but it's not at the point of like a 3D Mario or a major Zelda game, or even like a Splatoon game, or Pikmin, for, you know, extreme example, where you go such a long time without a new one that you're like, oh my god, this is a big deal. And I think Kirby doesn't go away long enough for that to be. So I imagine whatever the next Kirby thing we see on either the Switch 1 or the Switch 2 is probably just going to be a remake or a deluxe edition of a previously existing Kirby game.
It definitely, I can confirm, it definitely was Forgotten Land's the best-selling one.
Okay.
It's funny because Kirby was kind of like in that Pokemon like phase during the Switch lifetime, where every single year there was a game coming out.
Yeah.
Like you got Forgotten Land, you had like either Fighters or the other
Dream
one that's like
Buffet.
a rogue. Yeah, Dream Buffet. You had the freaking.
You ever played
about
Dream
that one.
Buffet?
Allies.
It's like
You
Kirby
had,
Fall Guys.
I love Dream Buffet. I love that game. It lasted like a month, but I love it.
Yeah.
You had the Return to Dreamland Deluxe. And this has been in speculation for a while now. I have no idea if this is true or not, but apparently they're doing a Robobot remake for
I feel
Switch,
like I'm
which I'd be
constantly
down
hearing
for.
that.
I'd be down for it. I mean, that's like the one game I never 100% complete in the Kirby series, other than Air Ride, because that's a nightmare.
Right.
Shout out to Don Schnack, because that is not an easy task. But that is the one game I have, mainline game that I've not 100% completed, because that True Arena is one of the most difficult True Arenas in the entire
That makes me so excited.
series. And also, like, I'm even including like the new True Arena they added for the Forgotten Land. Like that one is hard, but like if you know how to use the upgraded fire, it's not too bad. But like you cannot choose your way through Robobot's True Arena. It is legitimately going to test your skill.
Did you beat the True Arena for Forgotten Land?
Yeah, I did. I beat the new one as well.
Oh, there's a new like Switch 2 version?
Yeah, for the
Oh,
DLC, there's a new version as
fuck.
well.
It's the way I beat the original True Arena, because that, like, what is it, Chaos Alphalin? Or Chaos Alphalist is really, really difficult. But I had a lot of roommates at the time, and we figured out that, you know, Bandana Waddle Dee respawns infinitely, but can still do damage. Whereas if Kirby dies, the whole thing's over. So the way we played it is that I was constantly avoiding the attacks while Bandana Waddle Dee was attacking the Chaos Alphalist. So if I could do that again, I'm gonna need a second player to do that. I didn't make it very far in the Switch 2
if you have the
edition
most
yet.
upgraded sword, that's like
The Morphone I
the
want?
cheese method. Yeah, that's
Yes.
the cheese method right there. Like you can go through most of that with no problem, but
Okay.
like you're still gonna get hit, but like it's not. It's pretty. I will say, like, it's very like it's still difficult, but like helps a lot. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to do it without Morpho, but like I said, Robobots is definitely going to test your like skill, because you can cheese it for the most part, but once you get to the end, you cannot cheese that shit. Like you will not be able to.
Well, I mean, my favorite part of the Kirby games are the boss fights, and I imagine that's just like it's kind of like Dark Souls to me. That's what it's built around, and I'm glad they have all these boss rush modes, to the point where when I think about Forgotten Land, I don't know if there's particularly like a level that stands out to me, maybe like one or two with the theme park theme that I really like. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh man, like, I don't know if there's any individual level that stands out to me. I just like the boss fight. So is it a good game? And then I thought more about it. It's like, well, that kind of just is Kirby to me. Like, every game has a handful of standout levels, but for the most part, Kirby is remembered for its boss fights. It's the reason everyone goes back. I hope the Robobot rumors are true. It's interesting looking back, because obviously I'm talking about this while I'm writing about 2020 and 2021 for a Smash Bros video, and this happens every year. By the way, I was looking back at old videos. Not that it's important, because they're, one, not canon, and two, nobody can watch them anymore. But when I started doing a podcast with my friends in like 2019, the lineage of the BHultra channel, we only made it over several years, by the way. We only made it to episode 33 and then stopped. So the Switch 2 Ultra featuring Dan podcast is currently now the longest lasting podcast I've been a part of.
All
Interesting.
right,
Well, yeah.
We only missed like 1 or 2 weeks.
I'm
I guess
surprised you guys made it that far to 23 episodes.
it was 33 episodes.
Oh, 33.
Because we're at 34 now. Yeah, it was... Well, we did like 15 in the summer of 2019, and then we came back and did 10 more, and then we did a couple more when I moved. It was like constantly different seasons. I like to separate the videos into different seasons, like literal seasons and like television seasons, or I used to. So that like everything we filmed in summer 2019 was season 1, and then autumn 2019 season 2, winter 3, so on and so forth. Where if I was still doing that classification, oh man, now I got to do the math. Okay, so that was summer 2019 was, let's go from summer 25. That was 6 years. So 6 times 4, that's 24, and then autumn would be 25. And winter, which we're technically not in yet. Okay, so I think I'm in season 25 of BHultra. Does that make sense? I'm going to assume I'm right.
Because it's 2025?
We started in 19, and there's 4 seasons a year. And it's been 6 years since 2019. So I did 4 times 6, which is 24, plus an additional season after the summer, which is 25.
I guess so then. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't important at all, but, you know, air riders, that there are rumors like that stick around for so long, but they aren't, like, super pervasive, that they're just kind of there. Like, we were hearing about some kind of 3D Mario collection for a while before we got, like, 3D Mario All-Stars. And even when I'm going through videos in 2020 and 2021, after the not the first Hyrule Warriors game, but the first, like, one that was built for the Switch after Breath of the Wild, has Zelda being more active. And there were rumors at the time, it was like, oh, there's going to be a Zelda game soon where Zelda's the protagonist. They're really working on that idea. And we didn't even see that until last year, and that was a 2D Zelda game. So these ideas can bat around for so long. Also, earlier this year, we saw... What was it? Yoshi's Woolly World, or Yoshi's Woolly World plus Poochie, which is the 3DS port, in the background of Switch games in one of the directs. And at the time, I thought, like, oh, they accidentally leaked this. But the more and more time passes that we don't see it, I'm starting to assume it might actually have just been a mistake.
It might be.
Yeah, I might have just used it as a placeholder or something.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff.
Depressing,
imagine if they did that for like an F-Zero game, or like a fucking,
really
or like Earthbound or Mother 3 or some shit like that, like a game that would like something that would stir people into a tizzy.
They really don't do it anymore, but there was that period of time where like Walmart and Amazon and GameStop would have fake listings, and they would like get box art off the internet of just an entirely made up game.
Oh yeah. I wonder why.
Those were the days.
I don't know, because people had to have been like pre-ordering them or something. Like that has to be fraud to a certain degree. Or maybe they just legitimately believe that it was there. But for Air Riders... Yeah, so, like, okay, sorry. Back to representation, that I was saying that, like, oh, yeah, you have to, you know... To unlock Bandana Waddle Dee, have to do those top right things. I want to make a quick addendum if we are talking about Sakurai and by extension Smash Bros. I got real excited about Bandana Waddle Dee's chances. You know, he's finally being displayed on screen properly, and he's got his own design flourish, and he's got an amiibo as well. Circling back to, you know, the favoritism of certain Kirby games. But, you know, everyone's got a favorite. But you actually start the game with Kirby, Meta Knight, King Dedede, and a generic Waddle Dee. You have to unlock Bandana Waddle Dee. That's a different guy.
That does make me, like, a little weirded out. Like, it's very weird, and I have to wonder, was that, like, an error on their part?
No, definitely not.
It was deliberate,
like,
malicious.
Bandana Waddle Dee at this point is like one of the core four.
Yeah,
like, he is one of the core four, and to like mix him up with like, or to have a random Waddle Dee instead of Bandana Waddle Dee as the already unlocked character, that just seems not kosher in a way. It seems
it's a humiliation
weird.
Ritual in Bandana Waddle Dee's name to him. Because, like, they produced the amiibo. The main two amiibo are Kirby and Bandana Waddle Dee. So I really don't know about Bandana Waddle Dee's chances now. I thought we were up, but we're right back down.
We gonna, like, get a normal Waddle Dee instead?
Oh my god.
That would fucking...
Well,
now we might get...
like
Now we just might get Zora.
I mean,
Kirby.
this is a big reason why I was always kind of skeptical of the whole Bandana Waddle Dee thing, because... Like, it is sort... I don't know. You know, I haven't played Return to Dreamland, so, you know, take what I say with me being a guy who hasn't played it. But, I mean, he does feel like a yellow and blue Toad kind of character. You know what I mean? And I think he could... you know, I guess, you know, there's an effort to graduate him from that. And in a certain sense, like, I'm not against that. But that's why I was always kind of skeptical of... not so much the desire, but more so the prediction that he was going to be in Smash Bros. You know what I mean?
Well, there's...
I think that's a little unfair to Bandana Waddle Dee, just because, like...
Okay.
I think they've been doing a bit more to differentiate him. I don't know if this is going to, like, sound weird or anything, but if you ever watched, like, Wander Over Yonder, you ever watch that show?
I know of
You guys
the show.
remember this one?
It's basically like the second in command to the main villain. Like, that's how I think of it, where it's like he looks like all the other henchmen, but like he is a lot more verbose. Obviously that's ironic because he doesn't talk, but like, you know, he is a lot more strategic. He has a different design. He stands out a little bit more. And, you know, I think that's what they're trying to do with Bandana Waddle Dee. Like, he is, yes, he's a Waddle Dee, but like he's a Waddle Dee that has standing, that has like a very different, you know, he's better than the other Waddle Dees. They can't even compare.
I am better. Especially with the advent of the Forgotten Land, where like you can't even play as Dedede or Meta Knight. You can play as Kirby and Bandana Waddle Dee.
No, sorry. I want to clarify. I kind of meant this in a pre-Smash Bros. Ultimate context. Like,
okay.
Oh, you mean prior to that? Yeah, prior to that, he was just kind of the guy in the background.
Like, I mean,
he was like a player 4. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. That's
okay.
Why
that
I
makes sense.
Like it seemed. I mean, at least when Bandana Waddle Dee first became a thing, that was Return to Dreamland, right?
Yes.
Kind of.
Well,
yeah, actually, like
in
so
the
here's
first
thing.
main line,
in Superstar Ultra, he's there as like the second in command to King Dedede, but like he is just a Waddle Dee and a bandana. He isn't like given characteristics yet.
You also compete
like, he
against
have
him
the spear
in
he
the
has
mini
no spear.
games, right? In one of the mini games.
I don't remember if you do against Bandana Waddle Dee.
I thought that he was one of the opponents in like the Super Punch.
Kirby's. Oh, maybe in the Super Punch. Yeah, I thought you meant like playable characters.
Oh, no.
Super Punch.
Okay, but here's the thing. I'm getting back into speculation now. That they changed King DDD's Final Smash to be Mass DDD in the cage, and normally it is weird that Bandana Waddle Dee isn't in the audience of that Final Smash. I will at least attest that something was up. It was very strange. But there's a lot of looking back, a lot of instances in Smash Ultimate that are really weird. And of course you could explain some of them, like Psylux as a spirit wasn't in the game at all. Like there was no mention of Psylux. And that's probably because whenever they were releasing games like Let's Go or Hyrule Warriors or whatever, like games after, well, I guess that was before, whatever, any games that came out after the fact, like Sword and Shield, they would get a free update where there would be spirits tied to those characters in the game. So they probably had a version of Metroid Prime 4 that they thought was going to be out closer to the teens and maybe like 2020. And planned on releasing a Psylux spirit along with that game, and then it got delayed. But the absence of Porky as a spirit does raise a couple eyebrows, because there's no way they were working on a mother thing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't have been. You're right.
There's
I
no
don't
way.
remember there being a Porky boss. I think I'm just misremembering. Like,
There
a
is
different
one in
character being a
Brawl,
boss
but
fight.
that's the thing, is that
No,
all
no,
the
I know
other...
that. I know that. I'm just like thinking. I think I was just thinking that there was a character who returned. There was a boss that returned in
There were a
Ultimate,
couple,
and I think
yeah.
that was that like weird like machine thing that has like two
was
sides.
Gallium?
Oh, no,
I'm proud of you for
Gallium
no.
Wait, was it Gallium or was
Yeah,
it...
Gallium's
No,
the
it was
purple
Gallium,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, that turns into a
Gallium.
rhino.
I always get Gallium mixed up with a Duo Blade.
Yeah,
Duo
Duon.
Blade's just Mr. Game & Watch.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Blade.
there's a spot in World of Light where like you can get a spirit for a Primid and Duon and Taboo, like all of these, like basically every boss in Brawl, and Rayquaza is obviously a spirit as well. But Porky is the only one that's had a boss fight and like a major theme that isn't a spirit in the game. Granted, you know, asterisk spoilers. I won't get too much into it. There is a spirit for the totally safe capsule. Is that what it's called?
Absolutely
Is that
safe
even a
capital.
spoiler? Because it's been like 6 years.
You never...
No.
6 years?
No,
It's
I
been
think
way
it means
longer
more
than
so
that.
for its role in the story of Mother 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant specifically for the fact that there is a spirit.
No,
Oh,
that,
okay.
no.
There's a Mithra spirit in Smash Bros. Ultimate?
There's
What the fuck?
what does this mean? Spirits can become characters. That, yeah, the idea is that like, oh, well, there's a absolutely safe capsule spirit, and that's, you know, the joke is that that's where Porky is, like he's trapped in there. But I don't know. I feel like they still would have a spirit for Porky. Something was up. Something was in the air.
That is weird, actually. Yeah. Now that I think about it, like, why? You know, what are we doing here?
I honestly think that, like, looking back, because that's the main thing I've noticed while writing more Smash stuff, is that I had the idea, because, like, they brought back all these characters, and there were so many, like, they all had their own individual classic mode. I'm like, man, this game's crazy. It must have been labored over. That everything really points to Smash Ultimate being pretty rushed. We just didn't really notice because it kept getting updated. Like, Home Run Contest and Stage Builder were probably meant to be in the game from the jump, but had to be added later. And we know, because they said in a Famitsu column, that, like, Piranha Plant was planned to be a character in the roster, but they pushed it to, like, an early purchase bonus because he wasn't done. And the idea, or the belief, is that characters like Byleth and characters like Min Min were also planned for the roster, but were pushed back to DLC because the game had to come out. And even
I would
characters
have
like...
my doubts about Byleth, because Three Houses didn't come out for another like 10 months.
Sorry, yeah, I think it
after.
was that, yeah, that Three Houses also got delayed, so they're like, oh, we don't have to,
No, maybe
we
then,
shouldn't
yeah.
do this either. That
Has
game...
been a thing? A character comes out for a game that isn't out yet? I don't think so.
Yeah, isn't that the deal with Ike and Lucario?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Lucario,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Lucario came out.
2006, right?
No,
Lucario's-
that's not it. Path of Radiance came out in like 2005 or something.
No, wait, no, hold on. Wait, hold on. Now I'm confused.
I think what
'Cause I thought
I'm
Lucario
thinking
was on DS, right?
Yeah, well, technically, okay, so Roy was in Melee before Roy's game came out. That's the only example of a
Yes,
character
that
being in
is
Smash
correct.
before their game comes out. But I think
You're right.
the idea is that Ike and Lucario, and then Robin and Greninja, so on and so forth, you know, Incineroar, they were being developed for Smash before those games had come out.
Oh yeah, no, I know for a fact Greninja was, yeah.
Yeah. And I think the same applies to Incineroar, that he instantly saw that character. He's like, I want to do that one. Imagine if he saw the fake leaks instead. I've been seeing those circulating on my feed too, of the fake sun and moon.
When did Yoshi's Crafted World come out?
2015?
No, Crafted World.
Oh, Crafted World? 2019.
So technically speaking, the comment's right. If you want to be technical,
yeah, there was a skin.
Crafted World Yoshi came out before Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah, and also we saw the new Poltergust in the Simon and Richter reveal trailer before Luigi's Mansion, and technically we saw the new Poltergust in Smash Ultimate before Luigi's Mansion 3 came out.
I love that game so much.
It feels weird. It feels like, I don't know, sacrilegious to me that the idea for Smash Bros. For so long is that, like, oh, it's a representation of the previous console generation. That Link being Breath of the Wild Link makes sense because that's technically like a Wii U game. Adding Inkling, adding Incineroar, these are all fine. But the idea of having Switch games on Ultimate that like before DLC, that always felt strange to me. And I know that they made a point to be like, oh, Mario uses his Cappy and his taunt, but I think I would have preferred just nothing at that point because there's no real like sizable representation of Ultimate or of Odyssey in that game beyond the Odyssey stage.
Well, there's like the other costumes, but yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. That was always the point of speculation, is that like, oh, it's going to represent the previous console generation. But now these things move fast. That's the
Has
other.
that ever been the case though? Like, well, okay. I mean, in the sense that like, Brawl had the Delfino Plaza stage, and then Ultimate had the Mario Galaxy stage. But I mean,
Smash
I would doubt.
4 had the Galaxy stage.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant to say 4. Yeah.
You're good.
I've always, the premise specifically that I'm already losing what I was gonna say. Okay, so 4 had the Galaxy. I doubt there was ever a top-down desire to make it so that the new Smash Bros represents the last console. I think it was more so just that like the games had already been out from the previous console, because these games take a few years to make. I doubt it was ever guiding principle.
I get what you're saying. I don't think it was like as deliberate, but the roster of Smash 4 is Rosalina and Little Mac, specifically his design from Punch-Out Wii, the Mii's.
Well, to be fair, that's just because that was the latest one.
Yeah. But then Brawl specifically, I'm focusing on like the original characters, or the ones they showed off in that first trailer. It was Zero Suit Samus from the GBA game, specifically Wario on his bike from the GBA game. And then I assume the reason we got Pokemon Trainer is because the latest games, while they were conceptualizing it, were Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yeah, you're right there in the sense that you're right about the pattern for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like, I don't know. It's interesting. There is a common trope in Smash Bros. Probably a lot of franchises, but Smash Bros. Has a lot of discussion where people kind of claim that there are a lot of rules.
Yes.
When I think there's like a difference between rules and patterns. You know what I mean? I don't know. One of my favorite examples is that I guess I remember when Cloud Strife was announced. Like I thought that was. Before that, it seemed that like he was never going to be allowed because Final Fantasy VII wasn't on any Nintendo console. At least Snake had like, I think there's one port of Metal Gear Solid on the GameCube.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We've been proven wrong a lot,
Well, the idea with those is that both Metal Gear and Final Fantasy had been on Nintendo, like they were NES games. But I think it's interesting the way that they classify specific, like they treat Final Fantasy VII like its own franchise. Like, whenever Cloud and Sephiroth came to the game, they used the Final Fantasy VII logo. And then when they were showing off the Chocobo Mii costume, they used a different logo that just said Final Fantasy. Like, they truly do treat that game as its own. And I guess it is now, right? How many games are in the remake series? Is it 3 now? Or the third one's going to come out? The Final Fantasy remake, they split into multiple games?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's like 2 out or some shit.
Yeah,
I know they're coming out with they're re-releasing 8 and 9 or 9 and 10, I think.
Well, are those remakes or are those just re-release? I'm saying that like the quote-unquote Final Fantasy VII remake that they've been talking about for so long. The first game was remake, the second game was Rebirth, I think. and they're splitting the story of Final Fantasy VII over several different games.
Like the fucking Eminem albums.
Isn't it also, like not a remake?
It's the same story. You're right that it's an entirely different game. I guess it's closer to something like ZA, where I don't know if that is a good example, because ZA is a different story
I think it's the
altogether.
same story, so it's just like a completely different gameplay kind of loop thing,
Well,
because it's now.
It's sort of the same. It's, oh man, trying to think of an apt comparison.
Do they change shit up?
Yes, but
Is it kind of like Sparking Zero, where you can do alternate storylines?
yes, basically. The
Okay.
idea without, like, we were just talking about the absolutely safe capsule. There are some things in video games that are just well known, even if you don't like haven't played it. There are some spoilers that are universal, right? There is a death that's supposed to happen in the first part, because Final Fantasy VII Remake, this is all to my understanding, is only set in Midgar. It's before they leave Midgar.
Yeah, it is.
And there's a character who's supposed to die who doesn't. So the idea is that there's a major character death later in the game that people think also may not happen, or the idea is that they're using that death and not doing it to fake the people out, so they're like, psh, they're not gonna kill Aerith again, that'd be crazy. And then they do it, and people are still shocked because they thought that they weren't gonna do it.
Interesting.
That's to my understanding. I know there's like a better, like a more apt comparison. There was something specifically... Oh man, now I can't remember it.
I mean, what it sounds like to me is just similar to, like, I don't know, the Pokemon remakes. I mean, maybe
Yes.
like not so much in the gameplay, because the gameplay in the Pokemon remakes is mostly just kind of adapting it to the new generations, but
it's more that like there's a plot reason for it to be
Cetera.
happening differently. I don't know enough about Final Fantasy, but I think what it was is that there are like there's some kind of greater force that is changing the story on purpose, and one of the characters knows the way the story is supposed to go, and they're purposefully changing it.
that's some Zero Escape shit.
Yeah, but like I guess if you're gonna do a remake, I would prefer you do it like that, where it's not just the exact same thing but again.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I feel like sometimes, I don't know, I'm very much like, I kind of don't want to play the remake. I think I just would want to replay Final Fantasy VII. Just
Which you can on the Nintendo
port it.
Switch.
I see what you mean. I was gonna say, like, I think if it wasn't as widely available as it was now, I think I'd be in the camp where it's like, I kind of wish we just got a full-on remake, but because it's on everything right now,
Oh yeah.
it kind of just can. I can understand why.
That's how I
they went
feel
down the
about
route they went down.
most remakes. I mean, that's why we were just talking about companies that used to make stuff for Nintendo until they went out of business. I forget, was it No, not Mercury Stream. The company that made the Mario and Luigi games,
Alpha Dream.
Alpha Dream, that they went out of business because they made not because of, but this was the straw that broke the camel's back. They made a Bowser's Inside Story remake on the 3DS in 2018, when you could just play Bowser's Inside Story on the 3DS because it's a DS game. Now that like the ease of access with
I'll never
certain
get
games,
I said I'll never get that. Like, it's so obvious. Like, historians will look back on this and see it's the worst selling Mario game.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, no shit, it's the worst selling Mario game.
Yeah, it came.
Like-
It was a 3DS game that was out like 2 years or even 3 years maybe into the Switch. I remember it was showing off in a direct, and it was just to like so much shock. But that's why
So funny.
my take has always
No,
changed.
I was just.
Sorry, go ahead.
I remember when that game was coming out. I'm like, shit, I might get that. Because
I got it.
As a kid, I played all of Bowser's Inside Story until the final boss, and I like died the first couple times, and I'm like, oh, I'll try this later, and then I just never beat it.
I did get it because I actually did not have the DS game, so I didn't want to spend a lot of money because it costs a lot of money for the DS game. So I was like, why not? And that's also how I felt about. It's less egregious, but when they announced the Luigi's Mansion remake for 3DS, I'm like, but why though? But why the 3DS? Like, who is this for? You know?
I forgot that there was
When they
late
announced
into
it-
the 3DS. What
They
it
did
was
that like right when that was like right on the heels of Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Like
Yeah,
almost
I mean,
back
to be
back.
fair, like it probably is a lot cheaper to make a remake for Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS because you really don't have to like make new assets really.
well, didn't they?
But
You guys might know more about this. Wasn't
But
they
they
plan?
did. They did make new assets. They introduced Luigi into the game.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna say
yeah.
that like they did want to have a 3D gimmick for the original Luigi's Mansion, didn't they? Am I misremembering that?
They might have. I don't know enough about the Luigi's Mansion lore,
Okay.
except like dead babies.
We
but
gotta get
that's all
Beta
I know.
64 Andrew in on this.
he was born a baby. Oh, he was born a ghost or whatever.
I'd be pissed. I'd be a crying baby too if I was born a ghost. But
Dude,
that-
honestly, I would be chill being a ghost. You know,
I
like
used
if
to
I,
have
if I didn't have
Well,
to
if I
feel
was
the pain
born
of
a
death.
ghost, yeah.
not like Casper, where I became a ghost as a child under mysterious circumstances.
It's like walking into heaven, like rising up to heaven without dying.
Dude, I'm not gonna make a big deal about the segment at the end of this, like, oh, talking about all the stuff I watched, but I finally finished Has Been Hotel season 2 the previous week, and that it. Do people care about spoilers? They put up a big banner. You know, they put their differences aside. They put up a big banner in heaven that says "Welcome sinners," right? And the idea is that like, oh, the people who die in hell and get
I love
redeemed,
that movie.
they get to come in heaven. But like, imagine people are still dying on Earth. Imagine being a person who dies on Earth and then you get to heaven and there's a giant banner that says "Welcome sinners," and they're like, "Oh, are you a reformed demon?" No, I just got here. I'm pissed about it again. I'm gonna get myself started up. I want to like Has Been Hotel so bad. I want to, and there's so many pieces, like all the people in it, all the music. I even think the designs are cool. Like I know people don't like that. I don't mind the swears. I want to like it so bad. I want it to be good. It's so disappointing over and over again. There's a bit in the finale where they quote almost verbatim the evil Woody rap. Like, they say, calm down,
Really?
we're your friends. And I couldn't stop thinking about the Woody rap.
That's so funny.
God damn it.
one thing I
Upset.
know-
Actually, this might be kind of controversial to bring up, but it was
Okay.
like killing me. There's a very infamous kind of right-wing political cartoonist that goes by the name of Stone Toss.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And a couple days ago, he like posted a comic of the main character. I don't know the names from. I think her name's Charlie. Like
Okay.
convincing like the another character that like humans can be saved or whatever, even if they've sinned. And like he made a joke about how like that's literally what Jesus did or something like that. And you know, whatever you think of the joke, I think a lot of people were just surprised. Like, why the fuck is this guy watching Has Been Hotel?
Yeah, what do you see in
Right.
it? This is also, oh man, it was funny. I'll probably talk about it a little later. I saw Wicked for Good over the weekend. And last year when Wicked Part 1 came out and everyone was given their 2 cents about it, and then there was just a really in-depth analysis by Ben Shapiro. Like you could tell he really loves Wicked. And he didn't call it woke or anything, his usual shtick. He was just talking about Wicked so impassionedly. And you could tell that, like, for so many of these grifters, their hearts are not in it. Like, they wanted to be Hollywood people. And then they're just terrible.
I wonder.
It's Ben Shapiro in particular is a terrible
I mean, he's
writer.
from LA. He's from LA. I don't know. That actually is a good question. I am curious because honestly, like I can definitely get the vibe that Ben Shapiro is like into musical theater.
Oh, of course
You know
he
what I
is.
mean?
He
Yeah.
seems like a theater kid.
But like they want to believe that they're failing in the industry is like some kind of grand conspiracy that like woke is keeping them down when they're all just like shitty writers. They can't make anything good.
Yeah, I'm now remembering like all those shitty like animations like the Daily Wire is produced or whatever.
What happens with so many like actors too, like it's happened with Zachary Levi as of late that like now he's only in conservative movies because his career kind of fell off.
Well, that's his fault. I mean,
Right.
that's entirely on him.
But that's what I'm saying is that as soon as you like people stop caring or like you're failing as an artist, you can just immediately pivot and be like, no, it's the system keeping me down. It's woke DEI is the reason people aren't seeing my movies. And then you're exclusively make movies that cater to that audience and they still don't turn a profit.
Well, that doesn't matter because they're getting paid to make it a lot more.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep making it. So I mean, it's a grift. It's just one long grift.
Yeah, it's annoying. Why did I even bring this up? There was like, oh, right. Well, I wanted to talk about remakes, or rather, like, yeah, remakes as a whole. Like, I used to be the same way. There's like, oh, a remake should just be a perfect, not a perfect, but like a recreation of that original experience and not be too different. But in a world where those original games are a lot more accessible, I kind of want a remake to be entirely different. And that's why my opinion has changed on the idea of like a continuation of Smash Ultimate. Is before we knew about like Switch 2 editions, the idea of like an Ultimate Deluxe on the Switch 2 just didn't make any sense to me, because you could just play Ultimate on the Switch 2 anyway. Of course, now that we know that, you know, they're releasing Switch 2 versions of these Switch games where they add a little bit more and maybe some design flourishes, that it makes a little bit more sense if it like bides them some time to make a fully new game. But I just really don't want a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe situation where we go like a decade. I mean, actually, we're already almost there. I think 2028. Well, I guess almost there. We're several years away.
Right?
What's
Unless
24?
we're talking about the Switch version and not the Wii U version.
For Mario Kart 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 came out, was it 2014, 2015?
Yeah, 2014.
2014, like
Yeah,
May
and then we
2014.
Yeah, and then we did get a fully new Mario Kart game until 2025. I just don't want that to happen with Smash Bros.
I think you're forgetting the VR game with the little controller.
That was an AR game.
Yeah,
The
the
fucking
AR
like
game.
Nintendo Labo
They
Mario
they
Kart
also had
game.
Mario Kart Tour, I think.
Oh, goody.
The iPhone
they
one.
did.
That's why I assumed they were going to call the new one Mario Kart X, because they just didn't want to even bother deciding which one was 8 and 9. They're just like, yeah, whatever, we're just going to do a new thing. Because the same happens with Smash Bros. Because internally they refer to Smash for Wii U and 3DS as different games. They call them Smash 4 and 5 respectively. So Smash Ultimate is 7, so the next one would be 8. They should just call it Smash Bros. 8, like Mario Kart 8.
It's like designed to make me angry.
I know,
Yeah.
I so dumb. That's also kind of why I'm looking forward to the new Danganronpa 2 release, because it is just a remake of Danganronpa 2, but there's a whole other section that is like, oh, well, now, you know, the story is completely different. Who's the killer? Who's the blackened? You know, who dies is completely up in the air.
I do
So
really like that. I like going back to
I'm glad that
stories.
they're going down that approach, because I think that that is a really cool way to do that. And I will definitely, and that's already my favorite game in the series, so I'll definitely be replaying that when that comes out.
I think
I
that
gotta play the first one again, because I haven't played it since 2015.
that feels like a
first one's
2015
good.
game. Not one that
Yeah.
comes out in 2015,
The
but one that
first
you
one
play
I
in
always
2015.
liked the most, at least from I mean, I haven't played a Danganronpa game since 2017, but I remember liking the first one the most. I think just because it's the only one that really kind of is about the terror of like being forced to kill each other, you know? I feel like Danganronpa 2 and V3 are sort of built on top of that as kind of a given. It's like it's a very like self-parodying franchise, and I think just because one doesn't really have that, like it always was the most fun for me. But
I get what you mean. I think I treat it like Chucky, where I like it a lot more once it kind of like realizes it's kind of a joke.
yeah.
Where
That's what I heard about
like-
Fast and Furious.
I like one. It's probably my least favorite by proxy, not counting the terrible spin-off game. But one built
I never
a lot-
played Ultra Scare Girls. I'm glad I'm not missing out on much then.
It's not worth it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. There's a line in that game where someone is like, I like them young as possible.
No.
And there's no alternate context to that. He is talking about what you think he is talking about.
Right. Putting it
That
out of
reminds me,
context puts
like,
him in a better context.
I remember the Monocubs in V3. They drove me nuts. I couldn't
They're
stand
annoying.
them.
They're annoying,
Yeah.
but like I also kind of like the story, except when they do the pregnancy story, and that was really bad. But you know, this is all so confusing to Andrew. Who's like,
It's
This
no
makes no
wonder
sense to
why,
me, what you
like-
guys are saying.
What? No, I gotta say, because I remember like when I first found Zero Escape, I was like, oh, this is what I wanted. like not to diss Danganronpa, but I still like the games. But it's like I needed to get goofy, but like take itself seriously while being goofy. You know?
I get what you're saying. I've been meaning to get into that because I heard they're of diminishing quality in regards to the further into it you get. But I've heard that
Three's a mess. I've heard some people say the second one's like they prefer it, but three's a mess.
I heard 999 is really good, and I've just been meaning to get into that.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference when it comes to remake and adaptation. I feel like when it comes to adaptation particularly, people are really... Maybe it's like from an algorithm standpoint or like a CinemaSins-esque sort of criticism, where the criticism lies in the adaptation, quote-unquote, being bad because it's different. Like, oh, they changed this thing. When I feel like when it comes to adaptation, especially when you're adapting something to a different medium, you do need to change a lot. And I would rather they do change stuff, whereas I think for most, in adaptation, specific things being cut or removed or changed are viewed as an automatic strike against it. Is the season 2 of the Fallout show, does that come out in December? I saw people talking about December. Is it next year?
One, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's another one that is an adaptation, because that one is very different, or adapting a large world. I guess that was the other discourse from the previous week, is that there was a Game Awards nominee for, I think, Best Adaptation, like when it came to video games, like the Minecraft movie, and did Borderlands come out this year or last year? I don't remember. A bunch of stuff like that, and people were really mad that the Sonic the Movie 3 wasn't nominated at all, and they think that it would have won if it was nominated. But I think The Last of Us Season 2 is probably going to win, even though people really dislike that. Because that's another example.
That one is like, people don't like that one, right?
Yeah, well, that's another example that is, like, The Last of Us series, at least the first season, is a one-to-one adaptation. Like, I think of all the video games to become a show, that one makes the most sense because, no offense to Last of Us 1, I haven't played it, but it is the most that's already like a show. Like, I think that pivot is easy. When people talk about converting games into shows, they're like, oh, they should do, like, Red Dead 2, or what's another story-based game? Stuff like that. You know, God of War, whatever. When I think the most fun adaptations are the stuff like the Mario movie, or even the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Oh, that was actually a good example if we're talking about... Sorry, I'm circling over myself. The Final Fantasy thing of, like, slowly and sort of changing the story when you're retelling it. Of, like, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and the Sonic movies. That they recontextualize these story points, and I guess also the Mario movie as well, that we already know, but make them make a little bit more sense as you're telling the story linearly.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a thing that I watch in December.
I still can't believe the movie releases next week, because it doesn't feel like it's going to release next week.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah.
Is it next week, really?
Yeah, December 5th.
Oh my god, that is next week. That's fucking horrifying. Wait, when does Zootopia come out? Did that already come out?
Speaking of gaming news, did you guys hear that, like, well, I don't want to, like, it's... like someone like basically proved that Markiplier cheated his 1020 run for
You
Five
know
Nights at
what,
Freddy's 2.
Switchy? This isn't news to me because
I
said this in the viral spread of gimmick horror games. October 2024, I said this. Review the tape.
Sorry, dude. I never saw the full video.
No, that's totally fine. But I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at everyone being like, oh my god, dude, Markiplier. Like, I thought that everyone knew that. I was doing a bit on it in the video, and now everyone's like, oh my god, how did we not know? It's like, what do you mean? You could see it in the video. Like, it cuts very abruptly.
Who cares?
I know. I didn't care about it before people made a thing about it.
Even in the video, they're saying like the person was like, okay, by the way, like, I'm not saying this to shame Markiplier, given that, you know, he was making daily YouTube videos and beating 1020 requires like a serious amount of skill, and he's like trying to like make a living. Like, it's more just about, you know, the way you can kind of use probability to sort of, well, even past the cuts, like the footage itself is really suspicious.
Yeah,
and but
mind you,
interesting.
The reason I brought it up in my video is because I also cheated, and I said, like, well, Markiplier did it, so it's okay. I didn't want to do 1020 either. It's not fun. But yeah, like are people reacting seriously? I thought it was all like a goof. Like, are there people who are legitimately betrayed?
But it's notable enough that people are joking about like, no, my hero Markiplier, in kind of I think in mostly in a like a playful way.
Okay.
But it is, I don't know. It's like I mean, to be fair, I've never been enough of a FNAF fan to like, I never even really watched his streams or not streams, his like Let's Plays. But you know, it's just I've just been seeing a lot of people talking about it.
Man, I never like got into single player Let's Plays. Like, for me, it always had to be either a bunch of people in a call playing an online game or people like on a couch together. Like, I know so many people when they talk about their unproblematic faves, quote unquote, it's one of those solo Let's Player people. And like, I know I'm going to shoot myself in my own foot because I live stream myself playing video games, but like, I don't really see the appeal of seeing one person play a game if it's not like a speed run. Like, not that Markiplier isn't entertaining, but it just never spoke to me personally.
I like seeing people's reactions to things. Like, it'll never
That's true.
not be like fun to see people's reactions to like the twist in something like Dual Destinies, or to see them play Undertale for the first time or something like that. I think that's fun.
Yeah, that's a big element of it. I think. Well, it's you know, it is interesting. I think, you know, at least when FNAF was becoming big, I didn't watch Let's Players like at all. So I remember I played the first one. I got a few nights into the second one, but even I'm too jumpy that I don't really play those games. That I've never really like finished those games, and I never, and it kind of just ended there for me, because to me, I kind of had like a sort of, I would say I kind of looked down on people who watch Let's Plays. I'm like, oh, why don't you just play the game? Although, to be honest, like, I probably would have gotten way more into FNAF if I was just like one of the other mindless iPad Zoomers who just watched Markiplier play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's the same thing. You were sort of getting into that by saying like you're jumpy, but you would still rather play the game. I forget the same way. I sometimes.
I probably would enjoy. I probably would have enjoyed FNAF as a whole more if I just watched. It was more of just like a personal thing, I think.
Right, but I think what you're saying is that you would still rather play the game. But like, I do forget sometimes that there are people that simply like refuse to play horror games because they get too scared. Like, if you recommend, like, there are people that say they are FNAF fans but are too not like to your level, but like way extreme, that like they start freaking out. Like, they have to watch someone else playing it. Erstwhile, I kind of like, I kind of like being in a dark room playing scary games. It adds to the atmosphere.
I kind of get that. I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat myself, so it does ease a little bit when you're not like going through it alone, I guess. So
that's a big element. You know, I think also, for what it's worth, you know, for the most part, I never really played Let's Plays. I remember I watched Let's Plays. I watched a silent Let's Play of Dual Destinies because I couldn't figure out how to get Dual Destinies on my 3DS before I was 18. It didn't let me buy it on the eShop. And you know, actually, what I will say is that often, like, I played Xenosaga 1 and I thought it was good, but I did not have the patience for the battle system. And I remember watching a Let's Play of 2 and 3, and it was really kind of fun watching a guy who knew the game in and out play it. I think that's something that's kind of fun. You kind of learn about the games in a different way. In fact, I probably am planning to I've played Xenogears once, but I think the next time I like quote unquote consume it like slop or whatever, I'll probably watch like a person that knows the game in and out play. I think it'd be kind of fun to watch it that way.
Yeah.
I think that's often it's a different way of experiencing a game, but I think in some ways it can be kind of interesting in its own right.
Yeah, I will say that like when I was a kid, before Pokemon games had a universal release where they came out in Japan first, I would watch people play those Japanese versions and legitimately plan out my entire adventure before I even played the game. Like, I kept note of which Pokemon appeared in which route, and I said like, oh, I'm going to catch this now. Every time I got like a new Pokemon game, I followed a walkthrough like litigiously because I would always get so lost, to the point where I try and overcorrect now, where I kind of refuse to look anything up and just end up getting lost and running in circles. That there is one series, for the most part, like Elden Ring, even that, like, okay, I want to try it. Every game I at least want to try. I believe that there's a certain threshold where if you play any game, if any person plays any game for long enough, they can get good at it. I think it's all just practice. I don't think there's any like innate inability. However, I consume Friday Night Funkin' exclusively through like those YouTube mods because I'm just not built for it. I simply cannot hit the keys fast enough. I'm too baby brain. Like that is the one that my blood does not pump to my hands fast enough. I simply cannot do it.
I think about all the mods for FNF, and I'm just thinking, damn, this would be really cool if it was anything else except for FNF.
You don't fuck with Friday Night Funkin', man?
I don't.
Oh, is it because it's not a game yet?
Well, there's that, and also just because it's like, I don't know, man. It does not appeal to me at all. Like I don't know. I'm bitter. I'm a bitter old man.
I just really like the references to other internet culture stuff. And dude, it was like 2021 maybe or maybe it was 22. It was like sometime between like, I think it was 2020. Let's lock in 2020. That Smiling Friends had its pilot, Friday Night Funkin' had come out, and Has Been Hotel like got picked up for a series. That was a good time to be a Newgrounds kid. It was like, holy shit, it's all coming up. We're like they're really on top of things. That's crazy. But there are, I will say, like, yeah, it's fun to watch other people react to it. My wife was over here and like we were going through Pokemon Legends ZA. There was the point where it had the Volo costume in the museum, and she had never played Arceus, so I was like showing her other people's reactions to hearing the little Cynthia piano in the Volo fight, because I think that's really fun. You're right, like watching the reactions to that fight in particular. But in adaptation, I think what I wanted to say is that was my main. If we covered everything we want to say about Kirby Air Riders, does anyone have any other strong opinions? I feel like we talked about it for
like 5 minutes.
Do you have more strong feelings about Air Riders?
It's funny, actually, I'm glad you bring it up, because one thing that I noticed when I played Air Riders as a child is that, man, it's really hard to know what's going on in this game. And, as I've gotten older, I kind of left that up to, oh, man, I was literally just 4, when you're 4, the world is big and scary and confusing. But no, the game, like, especially for, like even as an adult, playing it without having played it before, it is kind of... It's a little hard to know what's going on at first,
I do think that tracks a little bit in Air Riders, specifically in City Trial, where when there's especially so many people, you're getting upgrades so fast that you can't even register what's happening. Like it's
like I didn't know if I was winning. I assumed I was losing. But...
Like maybe I'm again like too simple when it comes to like this game in particular, that when he was like going over the details, like, oh yeah, and then you want to pick a game that is specifically catered to the build you created. I don't think I have purposefully created a stat build in City Trial. I think I just pick up whatever's in front of me.
I think that's how everyone does it, honestly. I don't think you can really like plan that kind of thing. It's based on what's in the boxes. What's in the box?
I will say, for a while, whenever I was doing City Trial, I immediately make a beeline for the wheel. I just go for wheelie immediately. It makes it easier for me at the very least. And when we were watching the direct, and I was like watching the direct slowly, like frame by frame, we saw that sleep ability, the sleep copy ability. Like you inhale the guy and then you fall asleep. And I was like, oh man, why would anyone, there has to be some upside. Why would anyone ever intentionally use that copy ability? And the answer to that is sometimes you don't know what you're swallowing in that game. You're just hitting the B button and stuff is simply just in front of you. And it goes by so fast.
I think you actually can put other people to sleep with it.
Can you?
Because I saw one of the checkboxes was like, make someone else fall asleep with the sleep ability. I'm like, how the fuck do I do that?
Can you like trick them into inhaling it?
I genuinely do not know. I have not figured it out yet.
For a while, I was trying to, quote, achievement hunt. I was trying to, like, go after specific ones. Like, okay, I know what this is. I'm going to try and do this thing. But then I realized, like, because I was so early into the game, every time I did a match, I would just accidentally unlock one. So I was like, okay, I'll wait until I stop naturally getting these achievements, and then I'll go after them. Are there any, without giving too much away, that you think are going to be standouts? Like when World of Light first came out, there was that one Pauline spirit that everyone was talking about because they couldn't beat it. Are there any specific achievements that you think are the most difficult?
There's one.
I haven't looked at them very closely yet.
There's one in Road Trip that if it wasn't for this one, I would have beaten it, and I would have gotten all the achievements in 2 playthroughs. But this one achievement took me so goddamn long because there's a bit of a randomness factor to it, and it's so annoying. It is. I'm really glad I got it done out of the way, because like I would not want to do that again.
Yeah.
But it keeps you from getting 100% on that, and that bothers me so much. I have not looked at the other ones yet. I know there's one that I'm not looking forward to, and they did this in the original Air Ride, and it was notoriously bad in this one. And I was thinking, there's no way they're going to do it in this one too. There's no way they're going to do it in Air Riders too. And they did specifically use it in Air Riders as well.
That's
and it's the
fine.
one where you had to cross the finish line while you're sleeping. Like you had to finish.
Oh.
Oh, I saw that. I'm like, wait, how do I do that?
And that one is going to be a nightmare. I am not looking forward to that one.
Jesus. But that's like, say what you will about the spirits in Ultimate, but like I feel like maybe it was just because I was more... No, because that was like farther back. I was a teenager. I got those spirits immediately. Meanwhile, like on stream, I'm still going back to Brawl to try and get all the trophies and stickers. I
That's
do
a
really
nightmare,
like...
too.
Yeah, I do really like when a game has like that many things. Granted, I was getting real frustrated with SpongeBob and the Cosmic Shake, but I do... I think I just love, and you might be the same, I love a checklist, you know, giving me a
Yes.
list of like menial tasks, I will do it. I love doing that.
I agree.
And I had a big list of like, okay, these are the games I've started on stream that I haven't technically finished, but there are actual games that I haven't even beaten that I should try and focus on first. I need to draw the line somewhere because I like 100%ing too much. I think in a game like Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not going to backtrack. I'm going to try and get everything I can and then beat the game. And there was the same thing with Mario Wonder for the most part. And there are other games like Metroid Dread and Metroid Prime Remastered that I did beat, but I didn't like get all the missiles or all the health upgrades. But if I wanted to do that, it would require me either restarting the game or like loading in and just backtracking through the whole map. And that's not really as fun. Like, I think my new rule is if it isn't a task I can do, like if I need to physically backtrack and just go back and have a checklist of things, then it's kind of not worth it. But if I can try and get everything before I finish, that should be my main goal. Because you have a lot of, I imagine you guys were the same way. I don't know, Dan, when you started doing internet stuff, but I know Switchy was like way back, like in the tween ages. That That's fucking crazy. What about you, Dan?
For what specifically?
Just for making YouTube videos.
My first one was, so I told you this already, but technically speaking, the first ever video I ever put out was an episode of my own Total Pokemon Island.
That rules. That goes
I
hard.
still have to find that hard drive because I really want to see if I can find it, because I'm like,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
was
Total
on?
Pokemon Island's making a comeback in a big way, I've heard.
I still cannot. No, I can't say it because it's.
I didn't know he was
Patreon
real. I
thing
didn't
right
know he was
now.
like still around.
I can't believe you found him. I'm
Yeah.
literally crying.
I thought
he's
about
still,
like
into the whole scene. Like that's crazy.
yeah, I thought about like not having just like I don't want people to mess with this guy, because like imagine making something when you're like 7 or 8 or whatever. And
it
then
makes a resurgence.
yeah, you're in your mid-20s and people are like, man, are you ever gonna finish that series that you made when you were
You
9
remember
years
I made-
old?
In my video that I made about like the RPG Maker game I made when I was 11, like someone commented, it's like, yeah, this is pretty good. You should probably finish it. I'm like, dude, I'm in my 20s, dude.
Yeah. I do think there was
Like,
that beautiful moment when we had Brent on and he talked about like finishing a Mario Paint song that he started working on, or maybe
That's
like
true.
a video or
That's true.
something. That I didn't start making videos until I was like an adult. I don't know why I waited until I was a legal adult. I think I just wanted to like be out of high school. So because it's real cringe, not literally, but it's embarrassing to be making YouTube videos when you're in high school. Because I had a friend whose like
It
podcast
was
I was
embarrassing
on.
to do it as an adult.
Yeah, but then you don't have to
it's
deal with
embarrassing
other
not
like
to.
high schoolers being like, "Well, you're making YouTube videos."
Oh yeah,
huh?"
no, yeah, because yeah, no, like I remember my sister, like a couple other girls found her YouTube channel and they kind of like teased her for it. So yeah, there's definitely truth to that. And I don't know. I mean, like it's hard to face other people and say, "Oh, I remember I kept my Club Penguin stuff as a secret in middle school. Like I didn't want people knowing."
I heard a story that there was a dude like a couple grades above us who was in like this one history teacher's class. And he was making YouTube videos, and the history teacher like brought it, like he showed it on the projector, like he showed his videos.
Oh, that's like grounds to like. Never mind, I shouldn't say it on stream.
But to fire him, probably.
No. I was gonna make like a dark joke about like what
We should
I would've
string
done
him up
that
in town
situation.
square. I think we should put him in the Iron Bowl. Yeah, that's it is a little because I knew someone in high school who was the grade below me who like made like cartoon reviews, and this was like 2015 2016, so it was like real animated Avatar, and I was on his podcast, but I would like see other people be like, oh, this is the YouTube guy, so I'm like, I'm just not gonna say anything. But I thought it was so cool because I always wanted to do it, but for whatever reason I just didn't. So I like sat on ideas for YouTube videos for like a decade, even longer, like my whole life, like, oh, I'm going to do this eventually. And then I tried doing it. And even like long video ideas I have now are things I've wanted, like the Smash Bros. Cycle as well. It's something I wanted to make since that happened. That I have specific ideas that I've been marinating on, but there is a little bit of a difference for when you're watching YouTube videos and when you're making them. And when I was watching all these Let's Plays, these people or duos or whatever, they would drop series and just never come back to them. And I know now it's because the series wasn't funny, and they're like, we can't make this more entertaining. We got to prioritize this being funny. But I remember that stuck out to me, and I was like, if I ever do a Let's Play channel or like stream, I'm always going to finish the games. Like, I'm never going to leave the games unfinished. But what that amounts to is me, like, meticulously going back and just doing menial stuff. And they're right. It isn't entertaining to watch.
I'm going to drive myself fucking crazy, making the worst shit ever, but it will be complete.
Why that was...
Did he cut out?
Did me?
I think he cut out, yeah.
Ah, whatever. I heard my
'cause
hilarious
occasionally
bit,
he'll, like,
don't
cut out
worry.
for a second, and, like lags.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I'll notice that my little guy's not moving.
I guess. Anyway, so I was gonna say that it literally like it's crazy because I also have this completionist mindset where I have to go into complete games, and like I can't ever complete Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I also have to be like real with myself. I'm an adult with a job, with a 9-to-5 job, and I'm also studying. I'm studying for a GRE. I'm going to master's school soon, hopefully. So it's like, graduate school soon, hopefully going for a master's. So I don't have time for this. I barely have time for anything, honestly.
And also, like, focusing on one game does kind of, like, stop you from experiencing other ones as well. If you're too focused on beating them, you're not going to start other games that you otherwise wouldn't have played. Uh-oh. Am I still locked in? Interesting. I can't tell if this is audience silence or if I have fully lagged out. This is spooky. Okay, so what are the new Smiling Friends, like new Smiling Friends, like new Haha You Clowns also. I complain about Has Been. I think Pluribus is starting to pick up a little bit. I wasn't in the same camp that I think like the show was boring, but I do think in comparison to a show like, okay, I think Discord just crashed. I still have online. Oh, this better not be another Discord. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
I think my
Hi.
Discord updated. That was weird.
That was so
Okay,
weird.
was
We
the
were
stream
just
still
talking
on?
about,
Is the
like,
stream
Yeah, the
on?
stream's fine. That's was like, oh man, am I out of the
Okay.
internet? But everything else is fine.
Okay. The fuck's your Discord uploading?
I don't know.
Updating for?
What's the last thing
That
I
was
said?
fucking
Or what's the
weird.
last thing you guys said? We were talking about...
We were talking about, like,
games and like how we don't have
just
time
go-
for adults.
Oh yeah, I was saying
Going
that
the
like...
extra mile.
I heard that, and then at a certain point, like... It kind of doesn't bar you, but it prevents you from starting other games as well. Like, if you're trying to focus on 100%ing older games, there's games that you otherwise wouldn't have played because you were focused on the main ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I want to go back to the ones I want to go back to, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, there are some that it is
Right.
fun to get everything in, and some where it isn't. I think was the ultimate point I was trying to get at there. I feel like there was an
I can't imagine
example.
doing 100% Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild. That doesn't sound fun.
Well, now with the Switch 2 edition, there's like a little GPS map on my phone that just tells me
I know, but
where.
it still doesn't seem like fun to do that. Like it seems tedious, you know?
I don't know. I like it. Granted, I'm already a decent ways into it, and I have.
Okay.
And I've only been focusing on the mainland. I haven't really delved underground. So maybe as soon as I get underground, it'll stop being fun.
Do you also try to go for like all the achievements if a game has achievements?
I'm too bad
no.
at video games to have ever gotten into that habit, but there are games that like to 100% it's not actually that challenging. So once I kind of started doing that, like it definitely became a habit.
For achievements specifically, in like the 360 era, it was just kind of like a side thing that wasn't a part of the game. But nowadays, games like SpongeBob and the
They have it
Cosmic
built
Shake
into it.
have a built-in collectible. Yeah. That, and I've seen people complaining about not complaining, but rather like grinding away at filling out the Mabel research for Pokemon Legends ZA. I think
We were
I've just
talking about that.
Yeah, I
we
think
were
I've just
talking about that.
gotten to level like 40 something. I still got a ways to go. Honestly, I might just grind out more Legends EA stuff during the Game Awards. Do you guys plan on watching the Game Awards? Maybe we should watch it, because I'm going to watch it regardless.
Is that the 11th?
I think it's a Thursday, so it will be
It
the...
might be the 11th then, yeah.
Yeah, the 11th,
Yeah,
yes.
I can do the 11th.
Awesome. You never know. Oh, also between episodes, no Half-Life 3, evidently. But what if it's
The
this
dream
week
doesn't
instead?
The dream never dies.
Right.
Never dies.
So what I have heard about that is that there are a lot of insiders. What I've heard from my insiders, my inside scoop, is that the plan is to announce it before the end of the year, specifically not at the Game Awards, or before the Game Awards, I think, was the idea. So that they could show off something at the Game Awards, maybe. But the idea is before the Game Awards. But every publication, every insider is hearing a different date because apparently Valve likes setting canary traps to see where like the info is leaking from. So nobody has reported on a date because they don't know how true it is. So every day we march closer to the Game Awards, we're getting closer to a Half-Life 3 announcement. I'm locking it in. It's happening this week, for sure. And then we'll discuss next week if it doesn't happen. And then I will extend it even further. But no, you're
Eventually
right.
you'll be right.
Yeah. I try and see the movies, like, they have Friday releases. But I think they come out, like, Thursday night. So no, you're right. Like, next Friday, not this upcoming one, next Friday is Five Nights at Freddy's. The Friday before that is Zootopia. And then after that, I don't know. And then the 19th, I have
Wait, the
in
Friday
my...
before that is just this Friday.
Yeah, this upcoming Friday is Zootopia. And then the Friday after that is Five Nights at Freddy's. Am I lagging out again, or have I shocked and awed you?
No, I'm just thinking about the fact that we got Zootopia and FNAF week to week.
Yeah, well, leading up to Zootopia. I actually haven't seen the first Zootopia, so I should probably watch that ahead of Zootopia 2. Or maybe I go in completely
I will
blind.
say about that movie, it is really funny. Zootopia 1. I don't know why I haven't been that excited about Zootopia 2. Like, it's just like, oh,
Well,
it's
it's
coming
been
out.
almost 10 years.
Yeah, I guess I'm just cynical about that. Is that it's like, why does everything have to like take 10 years now?
On a remake, not even 10 years after the original Moana comes out. The
Did
live
Andrew,
action
like, cut out
remake.
again?
Oh, god damn it! I made a really good point
no.
too.
Is this the end?
I brought up the live action Moana remake.
I think he cut out again.
God damn it! Am I not here no more?
Oh no, I think he cut out again.
We'll stop for a
Hello?
little bit. I'm excited for it. And I don't know when I'll see it. I'll hear if it's good at first, but I don't know. I do remember the first one. Like there's a certain amount of timing to it that you just don't really get in a lot of other Disney movies. So, for what it's worth,
I remember that being the case. I have to go back and watch it again. It's been a few years since I've seen it.
because I remember the bit where they did the first of all they did the the what's the word, the counterfeit or the like illegally distributed movies,
Oh, that was
and
funny.
I love that conversation. I think one of my favorite jokes there is the Weasel saying he's Mr. Weaselton, because of Mr. Wesselton, who keeps getting called Weaselton in like Frozen. I don't know. I like shit like that.
I agree.
Oh, there you are.
Oh man, that as soon as I said that, the little green Wi-Fi logo went to red. I thought I fucked it immediately.
There we go.
Okay, so I was just saying that I have these movies and releases I'm excited about. Like I see. Okay, I'm gonna give my opinions on Wicked for Good real quick, and then we'll probably be done with this. I think we've covered all the air ride we can for now. The reason I brought up adaptation earlier is because I think the biggest failing and the thing that's holding Wicked for Good back is that it is made by really hardcore Wicked fans that are unwilling to change anything. However, I do think that the movie was split into two movies, or the show was split into two shows, that for whatever reason, musical theater in general is very tongue-in-cheek, that like it's sort of, they're inherently humorous. Like I don't even like Les Mis. Like I think that most musicals you go to are funny, and I think Wicked is often mischaracterized as like a retelling or a recontextualization, like the book, when I think the musical is more of an outright parody of The Wizard of Oz. So the issue with Wicked for Good is that in Wicked Part 1, they play it very serious. Not to say that it isn't funny, but they play it very straight. And specifically, Wicked Act 2 is very silly and outright, like, satirical in nature. And they don't really change the tone of that in Wicked Part 2. To the point where, I don't know how much of a spoiler it is to, like, talk about The Wizard of Oz. There's a character who gets crushed by a house, right? And her sister is there doing bits
spoilers,
with Glinda the whole time. It's like, your sister just got crushed by a house. Like, in the musical, this makes sense that she's, like, catfighting with her because, you know, it's a musical. It's inherently tongue-in-cheek. But in the movie, it's so tonally inconsistent. That's my take. Also, there's probably a lot of stuff about Act 2 they could have changed, and I really don't like... There's a big design reveal at the end, and I really don't like the way it looks. I like the way the design looks behind the scenes, but I think the way they shot it, it doesn't look spooky enough. I like the other design,
I think I know what you're talking about, because
yeah.
I think I got spoiled on it, and if it is what you're talking about, then I think I agree. It looks a little goofy.
SpongeBob does a good job, though.
Well, yeah, he's a goofy goober.
Yeah, that was the other thing, too, is I was listing off the movies that come out on the 19th, and I guess I forgot, or I just assumed it wouldn't be a part of the marketing, but there was a trailer for the new SpongeBob movie, and the whole time it was playing SpongeBob Big Guy Pants Okay.
Oh, God.
I fear that's what the movie's just going to be associated with now.
Genuinely not looking forward to this movie. Like,
People are going to know about it, though. People are going to remember this one just because of SpongeBob
right.
Big Guy Pants
But,
Okay.
like, I have a friend who I trust a lot with this, and they saw the movie early, and they're like, guys, this is really bad.
Oh, no.
Oh, I assume it is.
Because I like Sponge Out of Water. Like, not as much as the first one, but I do really like it.
That is the second one.
Yeah, the 2015 one, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the third one for a second.
No, that one
many
didn't
movies
release
are
in
there?
theaters, did it? That was just like
No,
a
it
Netflix
didn't.
thing. Yeah. Or a Paramount thing.
I like Sponge Out of Water, but like I also think it was really, really, really poorly structured. It is a very badly structured movie that I enjoy.
I mean, all the marketing was like the last 10 minutes when they're CG superheroes. That barely even happens in the movie.
And it's not even, I don't even like that part that much.
Yeah. We'll go to the real
Honestly,
world.
the CG superheroes turned me off. I didn't want to watch it because of that.
See, that's the thing. That was all over the marketing, is that you would think it was like a superhero movie.
Yeah, it's not like, oh.
But this
I
is
didn't wanna see
the only SpongeBob film to get released theatrically since 2015, right? Because the other one was the pandemic.
I guess, yeah.
I like the Plankton one.
That was a Netflix movie, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that and Sandy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I haven't seen SpongeBob on the big screen since 2015. Take me back. Anyway, the 19th is Avatar, SpongeBob Is This Thing On, and then also Adult Swim's The Elephant. So big day. What I ended up doing on Thursday is I finished Air Riders and then just immediately went to go see Wicked. And my hyperfixation is starting up again. Again, I didn't love the movie, but I do love Wicked, and I think just The Wizard of Oz by comparison. Because I was shown the movie like every day as a kid. I don't know how my parents thought I was going to turn out, but they shouldn't be that shocked. Do we have any closing thoughts?
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, I got really well. I mean, while we were streaming, they just announced there's a new Far Cry show coming out.
Oh,
A Far Cry show?
Yeah, an anthology series for FX and Hulu.
Are they gonna have Nacho in it? The
I
guy.
have not played Far Cry.
No, I'm talking about Nacho from Better Call Saul is also the guy who was like, "Do you know the definition of insanity? It's doing the same fucking thing." That guy. It's modeled after him.
Right.
My thing is that like there's already we'll wrap up, but like we're at the point in video games that so many like characters are just modeled after actors now anyway that it is a
Boring.
1-to-1 pivot immediately. And I saw, dude, when people were talking about like the future of Star Wars, they're like, oh, like fan casting, like, oh man, who's gonna play live action Cal Kestis, which is the guy, the playable character from Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, which is just it's Cameron Monaghan, right? The dude with the orange hair.
Yes.
Yeah, the character is just him. Like, it's just a motion capture at him, but people are like, oh man, who's gonna play him? Like, completely earnestly. All that to say, I think the most realistic, ridiculous pick for a next Smash Bros. Is Norman Reedus' character in Death Stranding, where he just looks like Norman Reedus.
I think it's gonna be the baby.
Whoa, is the baby like important? I haven't played either game.
Neither have I. I just think it's the baby.
We have this is the this is the podcast before nothing really happens this Thursday, and then next week is going to be December 1st, and that'll be leading into Metroid Prime 4, and then after that we could talk about Metroid Prime 4 and then also lock in our Game Awards nominees, and then the 15th will be the last one. So important things are happening. But as far as Switch 2 Ultra Live featuring Dan goes, I have been your co-parent BHultra.
and I have been your co-parent Switchy.
And I've been your estranged Funkle Dan.
And we're all going to go see Sponge on the... What's it called? Quest for SquarePants?
Search for SquarePants.
Search for SquarePants. We're all going to see it at theaters. We were all given day one tickets. Day one, we're going to lock in our review. Courtesy of Paramount. Thank you, Nickelodeon. We only good things we have to say. We have only good things to say.
Give us free stuff.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be nice, wouldn't it? If we could, like, fly to places. We got to do the show live from Atlanta. All right, well, we'll come back to that. I'm hanging up.
We'll figure it out. All right.
See you guys.
SpongeBob, big guy pantso. By the way, my mouth just works perfectly fine now. It was slowly unnumbing throughout the course of the podcast. Anyway...